own a restaurant, then you need to hear what I'm about to talk about. What you can expect in this conversation is to talk about how to deal with hard conversations. And this is a very important topic. It's not just important and focused on restaurants, really, because I've talked to several of my friends and contacts who own businesses, and this is a very big subject that's coming up right now. And I do want to address it because it is super vital to the health of your business. And really, it's not even just business, it's in life. How to have hard conversations. And again, I'm not going to pause, and this isn't going to really have a whole lot of stops in this conversation because, and it's not going to be a frilly conversation, but it's a real one. And so if you have a restaurant, if you have a small business of any sort, and really just in general in life, if you want to have a healthy relationship, if you want to have a thriving team, then there has to be some expectations that are set and a process for addressing any deviance from those set expectations or rules or direction. Because let's just start with that. Let's start with direction. Because first and foremost, or expectation, the expectation, if you are, started a business, if you're in business and you plan to either be in business or to sell your business, then growth must be the focus. Growth must be the absolute focus of your business. And you get to do whatever it takes to ensure that growth. Even if you plan on selling the business, because if you plan on selling the business, again, you still have to show that there is growth opportunity within your business. And we do this in many different ways. But the most quantifiable way to show this is in your systems. You have to have your operations running on such strong systems that it does not dependent on any individual person, that business will go on and every day and in any given situation. That means even as you, the business owner, your system should be so tight that if something happens to you when you get sick, you do not want your you do not want it to be dependent on, what am I trying to say here? I'm driving at the same time, so just remember that. This is an important conversation. You don't want the restaurant's ability to run to be all in your head. Because if something happens to you, and that's extreme case, but really your goal should be to get out of the operations of your system. If you're the owner, your goal should be to be able to delegate effectively and successfully your the responsibilities, the operational responsibilities of the business. So that means that your systems have to be so documented and so regimented and so succinctly expressed that anyone could step in to your position and do your job. Otherwise, you just have a very expensive and extensive job. You don't have a business, is what they say. So there's that. Okay, and I'm gonna get to this. Is all gonna come around to hard conversations and how having these systems and why it's important to have growth as your focus, why it's important to have your mission and your vision, and then all of the duties and responsibilities of every position of person very well defined, very well trained, and trained to the degree which anytime, again, that somebody leaves, gets fired, God forbid, gets sick, whatever, on a dime, especially your most vital people. Especially your most vital people, but everyone should have their responsibilities, duties, functions. Everything should be so concise and so easy to find and easy to duplicate, easy to train, that anyone will know what, how, where, when to do it should something happen to someone in that position. And again, as the founder of the restaurant, of the business, whatever the case may be, you also want to have those things very well documented, and those processes and systems documented, because again, you don't want it to have to be something happens wrong to you. Like, the whole reason that you start a business is so that you can have a legacy, so that you can grow. It should be growth. If you opened a business just to manage it, then you may as well just went to manage somebody else's business. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why take on the extra headache if all you're going to do is manage? That's so powerful. That's such a powerful thought. So I hope you really get that, because that is good right there. So how do you resolve this is, and why does this matter to having difficult conversations? Why? Because number one, nobody is above, I've said this before, nobody is above being wrong and nobody is below being right. So if your focus and goal is growth, then you're going to take every single data point that comes through your systems and through your information. You're going to take those things very seriously, because they're all going to give you information about the health of your business, they're going to, data, when things are off with the systems or processes, it's going to alert you that something is wrong or that something can be done better. All good feedback and great feedback, especially if you want to grow. All necessary feedback. The systems and processes help you to have a procedures, standard operating procedures, SOPs, helps you to have a method and a mechanism to address concerns that are interpersonal and intrapersonal. So whether that, I say interpersonal because whether it's a staff member and a client, or whether it's with the issue is coming within the team, it's going to have the systems, processes, and procedures give you a way that you can actually point to, okay, this is how this is normally done. This is not being done. We can now see the difference between, we can see where the conflict lies, and it removes the emotionality away from it being from a specific person to, oh, this is deviating from the system. Not you are wrong, or you're stepping out of bounds, or you're being disrespectful. It's like, no, this is the way our system works. The system works that, hey, if the coffee coffee machine is a great example. The coffee machine, we're going to run fresh coffee every hour, or we're going to run fresh coffee every hour and a half. You log the times that you're running it. That means that no matter what, come hell or high water, you are going to log, you're going to run the coffee. Now, in a restaurant, this can be tricky because you may have a very slow day and you don't need to run coffee every hour and a half. So you may make a procedure that says, oh, that would be so good. Okay. Anyways, you could make a procedure that says, unless, except on slow days, then we will run as needed. And if we are running as needed, the next time that we need coffee, then we will brew fresh coffee, let the diner know that we are making a fresh pot of coffee for them. So it will be about 10 minutes because it's custom quality. So you're gonna explain to the guest, not only are we running a fresh coffee for you because we want it to be hot and fresh, we give them the time frame and etc. But if it's busy, we're just running it every hour and a half, period, point blank, no question about it. It's getting tossed out after an hour and a half and getting refilled. Why? Because we want consistency in the delivery of our coffee, and we don't have to think about it, whether we should I brew more, should I not? No, the timer says, and these are the times we're gonna brew. And this is the methodology in which we, show that we have just brewed coffee. So, these are that's a great quick example of how a system can ensure that your guests will always get hot coffee. And it will ensure that they always understand and are communicated into that process. So, I just want to share that. So then it becomes, then when you're addressing the fact that something's not done, it makes it easier to offset, to begin the process of having a difficult conversation with someone, with one of your staff members, because now you can point back to something. Well, look, remember the system says that this is what we do. Why wasn't this done? Why, how? And then that's how you find where there may be additional breakdowns in the system and how you can fix those. But without a system, it's just who's doing what. Nobody knows. It's just kind of willy-nilly. And it just means that eventually, it'll be easy for your guests to end up getting cold coffee. And we don't want that, if we can help it. Or we don't want it to take 15 minutes, but they don't understand why, because you didn't explain to them, hey, I'm going to make a fresh batch of coffee for you. So it's probably going to be about 10 minutes, because we do, because we are brewing it made to order for you. We want it to be hot, nice, hot and fresh. Most customers are going to understand that. Most guests, unless you're when you're at a fine dining establishment, someone's coming in to eat, they're going to be there for longer than 10 minutes. So they will understand and they will appreciate that you're getting them hot coffee. So, but eventually there comes a time where the difficult conversations are more difficult than that. And you still get to have those. And it usually is a deviation from the system. Because otherwise, what's hard about any conversation that you will be having if it's not that someone is not doing what is best for the business? That should be the only reason that you're having any kind of difficult conversation. And everything goes back to being what's good, what's best for the business. Everything does. And you should have a team. You want to have a team that wants the very best for the business too, because everybody wins. Everyone has job security. If you're in a restaurant, everybody's making more money, because if everything's working, then then you're growing. And that's how you check and balance and see if you're growing. Is everything working? Well, if everything's working, then everything will be growing. And when it stalls out, then what can we do to increase that growth? But if you're focused on management, if all you're going to do is manage, then you don't have time to grow. So I recommend that this is what I do, and this is what I believe to be best. It is best, especially if you already have established business, to have a third party person to come in and to help you to get those systems in place, get those structures in place. And it's best for it to be a third party, because they have no allegiance to anyone in the business. That's why it's important, because there's no relationships being formed. Then they're not going to let one person slack and the other person not slack. When it's a third party that is respectable and that is a professional, then they are going to handle this situation in the best way, because they're going to be able to set into progress systems without concern of whatever bureaucratic hierarchies or setups were already in place. So that's my recommendation. I hope this helps, and we'll talk more later, but these are all great conversations, and I'm just trying to tell you that it'd be the simplest stuff that if you can nip in the bud and get started the right way and focus on the simplest things, can give you so much stress relief, can alleviate so much pressure. And it's really just the doing. And a lot of times it's those close-knit relationships that make it hard to move things forward in the right direction. That's why it's best to have a third party expert consultant to come in to truly address issues, because then and then you want a third party that's not going to kiss your butt either. Because if you really want to be the best, then you have to remember, what do I always say? That nobody is above being wrong. Nobody is below being right. Or wait, nobody is above being right? Nobody is above being wrong, and nobody is too low to be right. So when you operate from that standpoint, then you're really going to do what's best for the business. So peace. Have a great day. And my name is Michelle. I'm Trey Hollis. This is 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City. This whole channel is here to have real conversations about how to grow your business, and from an inside out standpoint, not just marketing, but all that comes into play. But we want to get you, we want to get the vibe going in the right direction. We want to get we want to reduce your burnout. We want it to be 5-star all the way through and through. And it's amazing how simple it is when you just do the work to put some systems and processes in place. But I'm here in El Paso, Texas. That's where a lot of these conversations will be originating. But these 5-star conversations are worldwide, baby. It's going to be global. So I'm excited to continue to share my insights with you, and hopefully this helps.